Hey Facebook family, doing another live about meditation and manifestation and how they are linked. Welcome, this is day 4 of my 21 days of Facebook Lives. Hope you guys are all having a really good day on this beautiful Thursday. It's really sunny here in beautiful Southern California, enjoying the day. And so just wanted to share with you a bit of my story of how I discovered meditation, how I've used it to manifest an incredible life. So basically, in a nutshell, what happened for me is I found myself at the end of 2011 in a pretty dark place. I had been addicted to Vicodin for some time due to chronic migraine headaches and a doctor prescribing me all of these pills, and not really having much of the will or desire to stop until this moment, the end of 2011. And I ended up stopping cold myself, but I knew that I needed something to help me because I had tried to stop a few times before and I relapsed. And somehow I knew in my heart of hearts that meditation was going to be the answer for me. Coincidentally, a few days after I stopped, I had the feeling to go on Dr. Joe Dispenza's website during that week. If you're not familiar with him, I learned about him from the film What the Bleep Do We Know? It's a film about quantum physics and what is really reality and everything about how our emotions are creating our reality. And he had been so inspiring to me for years, and for some reason, right after I stopped, very synchronistically, I decided to go on his website, and it turns out that he was teaching a workshop the very next month in my area about on meditation and his style of meditation and how he uses it to, how he would say, create his reality. And so, didn't even need to look at the price, booked it, and I went, and it completely changed my world. The way he teaches is from a very practical, logical perspective, and how we are basically addicted to our emotions, and all of our habits and behaviors continue to feed those emotions. So until you're rewiring your brain, right, as he says, and changing your emotional state, you're just going to keep getting the same thing you've always getting. For some people, it's addiction to pills, to shopping, to eating, to all of these different things, or having the same kind of patterns in relationships in your life, or the same kind of patterns within your career, or anything you desire not happening for yourself because of your emotional state. So I did this, and within the next few months, I cured the migraines. I mean, and long story really short, they're gone. I haven't had them in over 5.5 years, which was a miracle for me because I had them since I was 5 years old. And I also never relapsed on the Vicodin. I've been clean over 5.5 years. And what else? I started, the other big thing for me was my intuition started kicking in. I basically, as I was doing these meditations, I would kind of see visuals and hear a little voice telling me to go and do things that I realized that had been there, but was silencing out of fear or out of those addictive states. And now that I was engaging with these other emotions, it was becoming more clear for me to be able to listen and hear that voice coming directly from my heart. And so give me 1 second, I just want to make sure I'm okay. So I want to just move now to my definition of meditation, because so many people come to me and say, I can't meditate, my mind doesn't quiet down, or I don't know how to meditate, or what's the best style of meditation. So I went and I looked up some definitions of meditation, and some of them are basically contemplation, reflection, or to ponder even. And the one that really struck me the most is the one that actually Dr. Joe says, and that's to become familiar with. It's actually the Tibetan root of meditation is to become familiar. And so my perspective of that is that we grow up and spend all of these years with all of our senses focused outside of ourselves and not enough inside. And so we're putting all of our attention on everything out there. What are we going to get next? Get the job, get the car, get the this, get the that. I got to get love. I got to get all of these things from somewhere outside of myself. And so you lose yourself basically throughout all of these years of your life, and you don't know who you are anymore. And I realized that was exactly what happened to me. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I really wanted. And I was sitting there, taking these pills and also consumed with disordered eating habits by now, since I had gotten divorced. And I forgot myself. And so what meditation really helped me do was become familiar with who I am. And that's what it does. It helps you remember and keeps taking you back to the core of who you are, to your heart, to source, to God, which is all alive within yourself. And so the way manifestation is connected with meditation is this. And I just wrote out what my definition of manifestation is, because there's so many people are like, consider it like more of like a woo-woo term, or spiritual thing that isn't really grounded in reality. And so my definition of manifestation is to consciously co-create with the unseen forces organizing the universe. So manifestation is basically creation, and it's knowing that you're creating and that you are the creator of your life in conjunction with all of the energy around you. I hope that makes sense. If anybody's on here, if that makes sense to you, please tell me yes or no. But that's my definition of manifestation. And so the form of meditation that I learned is really, to me, it's a combination of both a traditional meditation of being silent and looking inside of yourself, as well as self-hypnosis or visualization. Because when you not only go there and be silent and focus inwards on your body, but then you choose to engage in certain emotions that you desire to feel, and then also see and create pictures of the life that you want. That's visualization or self-hypnosis. They're kind of both one and the same. And I can elaborate further on that in another live. But the way that they're connected is that meditation is what helps you get your brain waves down into that state in order to get clear on those, emotions that you desire coming straight from your heart as the days go on, as you get to know yourself. And so if you're out there saying, well, I don't know who I am, or I don't know what I really want, the answer is to meditate, because you're then focusing all of your attention inside of yourself and getting to learn who you are. And so what started happening to me is, as I was doing all of that, I would express emotions sitting down in my meditations every single day, by the way, for an hour. I would wake up at 5 a.m. before I went to work, and I committed. I think I did when I started, I did about 4 months solid, no days missed. I was in that much of a state where I knew this was going to be the answer for me. And so what started happening is the intuition started kicking in, and as I would express emotions in my body of peace and joy and freedom, oh my God, I just wanted to be so free because I felt trapped everywhere in my life. I would start to create visions of what I thought I wanted to do, which was cool, but also visions would spontaneously start arising in my mind's eye. And it was around, let's see, I started meditating the end of February, and it was around mid-April, so nearly 2 months, I would start seeing visions of myself riding my bike on a beach. And this wasn't a beach in New Jersey where I was living at the time. It was very, very clearly Los Angeles, Santa Monica, Venice area, where I saw myself riding bike. And it was like, I started hearing that voice telling me, go to LA, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And then I started paying attention to the signs. Literally in my life, I talked to my closest friend from high school like a week later after these visions started happening, and she was literally like, I'm moving to Los Angeles, why don't you come move there? I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And then about a week later, so my neighbor at the time, who was living above me, was getting married to somebody who lived in Los Angeles, and she was getting ready to move out there in the next few months. And I caught her fiance in the driveway talking to him about LA and the potential of me getting work out there through him. And I'm like, okay, that's another interesting sign. And the force was so strongly felt that I needed to do this that I actually ended up booking a visit about 2 months later and visited LA. And the second I got off that plane and I landed, I knew it was home. It was like, it just felt like home for me. And so, another long story short, I made the choice to make the move, which was terrifying for me. It was a big jump for me. It was how am I going to uproot my cats and what am I going to do about work and all of these things. But I made the choice to do it. And a few weeks later, I went into work to quit my job basically and tell my boss I was going to be leaving in about a month or two to go to LA. And a week later, I moved through that fear of, how do I find a job? And about a week later, she came back to me and said, well, since you're going out there and you don't have a job and we really don't want to lose you, do you want to work part-time from home? And we'll adjust your commissions so you're pretty much making the same money. Okay, sure. So it was like as soon as I let go of that fear and made the choice to pursue that calling that came from so deep inside of me. I swear I could not have made this up, or I could not have consciously thought about this or created this myself on my own. It was like everything then just came back and landed in my lap. And it was beautiful. It was, and I worked that job for another few years, and it very much gave me what I needed. It gave me the finances that I needed to continue to live and then pursue my calling, which is something else that came from meditation, which is to go then become a certified hypnotherapist and start helping people and teaching them how to do these things and how to really manifest and create exactly what you want. And there's challenges. I believe that when we have a vision, because I've had visions that I've been working on for years that I desire. And sometimes I sit down meditation and I can't reach it because I feel like what happens is we have layers and layers and layers of other gunk that needs to be cleared until we really can get what we desire from our soul. And then that's what creates all of the challenges we have in our lives. And I can't tell you that my life is always up and always I'm constantly manifesting what I want and constantly in a good space emotionally. No, I have my shitty days. And I believe that we need to have those challenges in order to help us learn and grow and really get to the things that we desire, especially if it's things like pursuing my passion and service to the world in exactly the way I'm meant to, or having that kick-ass partnership, romantic relationship that I desire. If we have these layers of things that we're not working on ourselves, it's gonna take a bit longer, right? And so I really feel like the art of meditation and manifestation are so closely tied together that I just can't separate them anymore. There are other forms of meditation that you can do where you can just be silent, and I do have days where I do that myself, but man, it's the feeling that you get when you sit down in that space and you're seeing your future and you're putting yourself in your future, and you do that, the more often you do that, it just feels so freaking good. And especially when you do it in the mornings, right? Because you're starting your day off basically living in your future. And you'll have bumps in the roads in those days, but the more you engage in those emotions, the more you're going to come closer to those manifestations. And so if you guys have any questions about this, please let me know. I would actually like to share a gift for you. I created, last year, a little 5-day mini course called Visualize to Materialize. And it's basically my take on manifestation and visualization. And it comes with videos where I talk about all of this stuff way more in depth. I talk about the unconscious mind and how we've created all of these not so fun states of being for ourselves that we kind of keep tending to find in our lives with all of our patterns. But also I've got MP3s that you can download and then use every day to create. And the final one, the longest one, is only about 20 minutes. So it's 20 minutes a day out of your life where you get to co-create, where you get to meditate, you get to go silent, you get to sit there and embrace yourself and get to know yourself and focus on your heart, and you get to create your future. So I'm going to drop that link in the comments for you. I'd love to share that with you all as a gift. And please, if you're watching this after this broadcast, please let me know comments if you have any questions, comments, insights, aha moments, anything. I love you all so much. Have a good day.